Welcome back. There's been a lot of blowback from the BISFA and Educational Hub proposal postponement at Board of Education meetings, social media postings, and letters to the editors. Tom, what do you think this all means as we move forward?
Well, I think this issue is going to be addressed because, I mean, they did have major blowback. A friend of mine was at the second meeting after they decided to suspend.
The first meeting.
Well, yeah, at the first meeting, which I was at that one. At the second meeting, after they suspended it, it was very clear sitting there that they were reluctant to do this, I think. But it was the best way forward. The whole point that Wilcox made was that, well, he was trying to open up the door for the public to say their piece. Well, they said it in spades. There were about
Yes,
140 people showed up in support of that school and that program and the idea for an educational hub. They had 3 parents of children at that school who actually moved to Washington County just so their children could go to that school.
Wow.
Which tells you an awful lot. And all 3 of them spoke.
If you build it, they will come.
They will come.
Well,
and they obviously did here.
Wow.
And I
And
really
they
think-
were very strong about that.
Yeah, and I really think that, the School for the Arts, it should just be a stepping stone towards additional boutique schools
Well, yeah.
in downtown Hagerstown. And I think that, that could do tremendous things for
I think.
the economy for Hagerstown. It could do tremendous things for the students of Washington County.
And you know what? Let's to a couple things. To your point, if we've got parents making the decision to move here because of
Yeah.
that, you can't think that if we opened that up to more boutique type schools, you'd have businesses making the same decision.
Exactly.
To the student
Exactly.
experience piece, and I've talked to a lot of BISFA students,
Yeah.
it is unlike any other high school experience in
They
the
love it.
entire county.
They love it, too.
Potentially the entire state, because they have more freedom at this school. They work harder
Yes,
than maybe some
do.
they would have in a regular school in some respects around their art.
There's more, emphasis on personal responsibility.
There
That's what they
absolutely
tell
is.
you.
And the fact
Yeah.
that, the ability to go between buildings, to take classes and to be downtown in the business district
Yeah.
and not in a school campus type of environment, I mean, it really, really pushes the envelope for the experience these kids get, in
Yeah,
my
I
opinion.
mean, and the whole idea of the safety down there. Well, if anybody has sat in that town square and seen all the cops when they're going between there, I happened to be at an event the other night and was talking to Paul Kiefer, the new police chief.
Right.
And, he was kind of saying, well, come on here.
Yeah, and contrary to
this
popular
is
opinion, Hagerstown
it's
is
the
not
safest
bankrupt.
place. Yeah.
So-
No, it's not either.
not close.
No.
Not close. In fact, there's argument that we have too much in our coffers in terms of
Well, they're
reserves.
hanging on to it, and this is the time to spend it because of interest rates. They go, I mean,
Right.
if you're a
Well,
business
the
person,
hurdle
that's
to
what
get
you do.
in, the hurdle to get in is low at this
Well,
point.
and I think that this is, going back to our previous topic as well, this is where public-private partnerships could be key. If we can get additional businesses to come in and say, hey, we'll help fund some of these boutique schools downtown.
Yes, and
That,
you
that
want
would absolutely,
stakeholders.
yeah,
in the
because
system
they're-
and
it's a
the
mutual
downtown.
win-win.
Yes, it
Because
is.
you can, they'll fund the education knowing that they're going to get qualified employees.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm going to say this at the risk of being labeled a Dr. Wilcox, groupie, but the reality is, again, if you look back at some of the initial statements he made when he came here, one of them had to do with, and I'm not going to get this verbatim, but how should we teach our kids? Whatever way they'll learn.
Right.
And I think that BISFA has proven that allowing these children to specialize into something that really grabs their attention and captures their imagination works. And if we can expand that success, why wouldn't we do it? I think that's a good investment.
The chances are the next step will be to take all that people power we saw at the school board and take it down to the county commission and get those people off their rumps and get them doing what
And
they need
that's
to do
something
with it.
that I really, have some concerns about is the fact that here we have the county commissioners who basically denied the Board of Education funding, not because, they couldn't give them the funding. I mean, that was funding that was already earmarked
Yes.
for the Board of Education.
Yeah.
They denied them the funding because they didn't feel that they should spend that money on a downtown education hub. Now, going back to the original, articles and everything that I've read about the academic hub, they said in order for the academic hub to work, they need participation from the school board, participation from Hagerstown, and participation from the county.
Yeah.
They've got participation from the school board. They've got participation from Hagerstown, because I know that the mayor wants it in there.
Well, yes.
But the county has to get on board for this to
So-
succeed.
And there's a
So-
lot in the community that really, I think, do want that.
But here's the thing, just like the baseball stadium went down in flames because of community blowback, I think this has a good chance because of that same community blowback in the opposite
In the
direction.
opposite direction,
Because
that's what I think.
if everybody, unlike Washington D.C. politicians, if everybody in the community or a high percentage are very vocal about supporting it,
Yeah.
it would be hard. You would be hard pressed to have the commissioners not support it.
Exactly.
And at some level,
Yeah.
I'm not sure that their initial decline might not have been just to see what the community's position on it is.
Well, I think they're getting to know. I don't know how many letters to the editor. There were several.
There were.
That I read. And one was, I couldn't quite figure, the person who wanted to put it in Dargan.
Yeah.
The hub, and I said, is this tongue-in-cheek or is this for real?
Well,
I mean, the whole idea of the hub,
We need these people showing up at county commissions, we
Yes.
need the phone calls going to the county commissioners, we need the letters, we need the emails going to them, we need to keep that up.
Well,
yes.
And they've got a built-in body of support for it, use it.
Well, and you know
use
what,
it.
you're absolutely right. And just as Ken spoke of the letter to the governor about
Yep.
the PTEC
Send it-
thing,
send them to the
we need to
commissioners.
do the same thing on a local basis.
Yeah, well,
Because
this
the
is
reality
about,
is,
citizens participating in
in
their
the
own
process.
Well,
process.
Exactly.
And,
And, those letters, by the way,
They mean
they
something.
mean something,
Yes, they
and
do.
they do get read, and believe that. And I've had
Yeah.
Jeff Klein in particular
That's why I
talk
write
to
them.
me about specific letters that
Yes,
he's received.
yes.
They do get read, and they
Yeah.
do get.
And I think that a lot of the reason that it was postponed in the first place is because there were letters from, I believe, the local Washington County Republican Club instructing the county commissioners and probably the school board as well that they don't want it in here.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know why
Yeah,
they feel
okay,
that
yeah,
way,
yeah.
because after doing a lot of research on my own on it,
Yeah.
I really think the expanding an academic hub in downtown Hagerstown is a wonderful
Yeah.
idea.
It's interesting when they even show you some of the students that have graduated from there who do not go on in the arts,
So
but
this
some
lo-
other field that do very
The
well.
local
Very,
Republican
very well.
Club or the Republican
College.
Central Committee?
Yeah.
Not the central committee, but a local
I was going to say, if
club.
it's a Central Committee, these are the same guys that gave us spong, 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 spong.
Now, I do know that there are some in the central committee involved in the club as well, but I don't know the extent of that.
Yeah.
I just know what I've seen online.
Yeah, I've seen enough from that body, but that's my personal opinion. I'm a registered Republican. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, stay tuned, because in 3 minutes, Tom will lead us in the discussion about the recent climate summit in Paris and what findings may mean for our region of the world. We'll be right back.